Welcome to the East Coast Rendezvous for Selene Yachts. I'm here with Elizabeth Powell. Say hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Wayne. Hi, everyone.
And what are you doing here, Elizabeth?
So my husband and I are currently building a Selene 60 Classic Explorer. I came down to Baltimore this past week to meet the Selene community, and it's a great opportunity to go on a lot of the Selene boats to check them out and meet people.
So where do you guys live?
So we're currently living in Burlington, Vermont. We have done all of our boating on Lake Champlain. We've decided after the kids are out of the house and in college to explore the world by boat. And we are doing that with a Selene trawler.
All right. How many kids you got?
We have 4 kids.
4 kids.
Yeah.
And now they're out of the house?
Well, 1 to go.
Not quite.
Which is why the build process has been awesome, because we allowed us some time to really gather our thoughts, figure out what we want in a boat, start the process while we're sort of wrapping up the kid world. Sorry, Anna, I love you. So we're really excited for that. And yeah, once Anna is off to college, we're going to receive the trawler in Seattle. We're going to take
Seattle, yeah.
Up the Selene in Seattle and travel the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. Spend some time in the San Juans, take it up to Alaska. So we're really excited about that.
All right. So why Selene?
So, well, now that we've spent the past couple of years really looking into Selene's and the other trawlers, to us now it's like, of course it's Selene. It's such a great boat. We spent a lot of time looking at the different trawler companies. We've traveled a lot in the U.S., coast to coast, sort of seeing what's out there, what we're thinking works for us, what type of cruising we want to do. And the woodwork, the craftsmanship on the Selene is just so unique and just so perfect. I mean, there's really nothing else on the market that we feel is as beautiful and reliable as the Selene.
I've got so many questions to ask you. So Chris is driving this boat thing, but you're really the decision maker behind what really happens.
Well, I mean, we're both making decisions with the build.
Sorry, Chris.
He's done a ton of the research, a ton of the legwork. And he's been doing a lot of the research of the electronics, the engine, everything that, it takes to build a boat. And then with the different companies out there, the different products to choose from, we sort of sit down and decide, like, okay, this is great here, this works here. And then asking too, which is great with the Selene community. Everyone is in touch. There's this awesome owners forum that you can be a part of, and you can ask questions, and everyone's friends and knows each other and is so happy to help. And again, the community is also what has driven a decision to build a Selene, because everyone's so awesome and so knowledgeable and so helpful.
Well, we're thrilled to have you as part of the Selene family.
Yeah.
You got into it a little before we did, actually. And tell us about that journey and trying to figure out what was going on with Selene and how you ended up actually finding the dealer, Pacific Northwest Yachts, that helped you and got you into the boat.
Yeah, definitely. Chris stumbled upon the Selene brand reading a Passage Maker magazine. There's some really great write-ups. He reached out to the forum, the owners forum, where we connected with a gentleman by the name of Mark Tilden, who's also built 2 Selenes, so he's been really helpful and knowledgeable. He directed us to the dealership at the time, and still is one of the dealers in the U.S. for Selene's Pacific Northwest Yachts. Patrick Dunlop directed us to Patrick, and we'd been working with Patrick, learning about the Selenes. He has a Selene. There's a lot of Selenes in the Pacific Northwest that we've seen, got aboard, and we worked with Patrick to work with Jet Turn, the factory, and now a year later, we're building a Selene. So Patrick's been great, again, really knowledgeable, and it's the family. Mark's been great. Everyone I've met at this rendezvous in Baltimore has been awesome. Chris there's a West Coast rendezvous that took place in April. Chris went to, so he met a lot of the folks on the West Coast. And again, it's just such a great community. I'm so fortunate and so excited to just begin this journey.
Yeah, so it's too bad Chris isn't here with us, but you're the star.
Yeah, I'm the star today. But yeah, so we're just wrapping up our life in Vermont and simplifying and figuring out how we're gonna, the next steps and what it takes to really travel the world, I guess.
Yeah, so Chris actually started traveling the world. He was over in China at the yard.
Yes.
A couple months ago.
Yep. Chris went to the yard in July with Mark Tilden, another who I mentioned, Selene owner. And they spent some time in the yard. The boat is out of the mold. Spent time with Howard, reviewing, tweaking, and one of the great things too with the Selene is everything is customizable. So adding, gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Just tweaking here or there, adding this, another locker here, bigger space here, move this cabinet. So they did a lot of those logistics in China. But he had an awesome experience, and Howard and his family and his team welcomed Chris and Mark, and they just had a great time. It was a short trip, and hopefully we'll go out in the next couple months again. And I think we're going to stay a little longer and maybe travel to the Great Wall of China, or just since we're in China, might as well go to the Great Wall.
Or there.
Why not? It's there. It's still there.
Still there.
So yeah, and that'll be cool. And then I think Chris will probably go back before we receive the boat too to do the sea trials. But again, Howard's awesome. He's just, again, he's so involved in the process from the other side of the world, and to know that we could text him or email him and he will respond like that. So, it's.
And now here at Rendezvous, who shows up?
Howard. He's here. He's awesome. He's just, again, just so passionate and talented and driven. And it's just so cool to be building something to such a large scale and have the brain behind the operation a part of that experience. It's pretty.
He's amazing. He'll sit down there and draw out a sketch, and you look at it and you're like, what is he drawing? And the next thing, it's like your boat.
Yeah, he's very talented. It's been great. So
yeah, that's great. And he's actually going to be giving gifts of some of the sketches to the buyers of the boats.
Yes,
you got that to look forward to. It's pretty cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So Rendezvous, there's 22 Selenes here. How many have you been on?
Probably been on at least 12 of them so far.
Yeah.
And again, the joke in the Selene community is once you've been on one Selene, you've been on one Selene. Because again, the customizable experience that is offered, no Selene is really the same. The quality, the craftsmanship is all the same, but just everything is just tweaked in such a way to make them all unique. So it's been really fun seeing all these different boats. I think I've at least been on 12, but they're all different. So taking away a lot of the finishing features that I've seen, and I've taken a ton of pictures, taken videos. So when I get home, Chris and I'll say like, "Oh, Chris, look at this finish, and look at this store, look at this knob, and maybe we should do this." And
so it's been worth it.
Oh my gosh, 100%. And even if we weren't building a boat, I'd want to come to Rendezvous. Even if I didn't have a Selene, I'd want to come to Rendezvous because everyone's awesome, and Wayne and Paul, everybody's just been.
Yeah, so there's
people.
60 some odd owners here and 22 boats, and it's just great. And you also got to meet Roger and Christy, who are new buyers as well.
Yes.
And they're on the same journey as you, about a year behind you guys.
Yep. And so we met Roger and Christy. They're also new to the Selene community. They're building a 60 as well. They're building an Ocean Explorer, which is a little bit different. An Ocean Explorer, which is different than the classic Ocean build that we're doing. And we've just been having so much fun talking about our experience and sharing it. We can't wait to share spreadsheets. And we'll definitely be in touch. And, we want to do a lot of buddy boating when we both get the boats. And our big term plan is to hopefully take the boat from Washington, bring it down the west, through the Panama Canal, bring it up and over, and then hopefully meet them at some point on the East Coast and maybe travel to Europe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Wherever the ocean takes us.
That's right. And we say plans are made in the sand at low tide.
Exactly. So we are really excited just to see in the buddy boat. And again, that's what's great about the Rendezvous is the Selene owners are coming together. And I know on the West Coast too, they travel together. They'll travel the Gulf of Alaska together and spend time in Alaska and travel down the coast and you buddy boat. And it's so cool. It's such a great experience. And everyone's driven and passionate about the trawler and the experience and liveaboards.
Yeah. So Selene Americas, tell us about us.
Well, so this is the first time I've met Wayne, and Paul is behind the scenes today. So these guys have been great. They are opening. So when we initially stumbled upon Selene, there wasn't any presence on the East Coast at the time.
Or barely the West Coast.
Barely the West Coast. So Patrick's dealership, when we were receiving the boat, we wanted to make sure that we had, the support in a dealer in where the boat's coming. So we worked with Patrick on that just to, help us through the process and iron out any kinks that may come from the delivery. But now Selene Americas is opening a new office in Annapolis. Partnered, so excited. You guys. And has partnered with some dealers on the East and some
service centers.
Service centers, thank you. That's the word I was thinking.
Yeah,
service centers, and partnered with some service centers on the East Coast, which is really great for any East Coast buyers of Selene. And again, too, there's Patrick on the West Coast. We've got the East Coast. So, and you guys have been amazing. They even took us to dinner last night. But
paid for it.
It was so fun. So yeah, Paul and Wayne have been awesome, and they're building up a team. And I can't explain how excited I am about this community and how much potential is out there to grow with Selene owners. And I'm excited. I hope we can get my friends to buy both Selene's too, because again, it's so fun, and this whole cruising community and travel.
There's a little incentive there too.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, just to have friends. I'm really excited, and the brand, and again, the boat is so solid, and it's everything about it is awesome.
Yeah, well, it's easy for us because we get great buyers and we have great owners, and the boats are awesome. I mean, they're just unbelievable boats. So yeah, we're thrilled, and Rendezvous is great for us. We get to meet more and more. This is our second year at Rendezvous. Actually, this is the second Rendezvous on the East Coast, right? And it's growing. It was in Solomon's last year, which is kind of fun, but the boats were kind of spread out.
Yeah.
And having it here with all the boats pretty much next to each other, and having a really nice tent and seminars, and the ability for us to get up there and address 60 people at once, 60 Selene owners, was great. And we had a few really cool announcements. And
oh gosh,
and we're looking to do more. We had parts now. We actually brought parts, spare parts.
And people have been buying them here too, which is great. Having that again, being together. Hey, what part did you need? This? Oh, you need an extra one. And
make sure. How about this? Have you thought about this one? And
it's huge, and it makes the boating experience so much more pleasurable too, knowing that you're not doing it alone. And as a first-time trawler owner and going on this journey, knowing that now I have friends that are also on this same journey that I can talk to or text, oh my gosh, sprung a leak, help. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but you never know. And that same thing, no worries, just use this plug, done, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. And then there was another new buyer that we had dinner with last night.
Oh, yeah.
Ron.
Oh my gosh, I love Ron. So Ron is also on the East Coast. His boat, he started his Selene journey 2 years ago as well, also with Pacific Northwest Yachts, with Patrick Dunlop. And he's building a 45. 45. Also went out to China, has a great relationship with Howard now. Lots of customizations in his boat as well. He's taking receipt of it hopefully in the next month. I think it's just leaving.
Leaving in 5 days.
Yeah,
so that's exciting.
So Rod's very excited for that, and we're excited to get on his boat too. And he's having it delivered to the port of New Jersey or New York. He lives in New York City, so he'll have it on the East Coast.
And he's going to keep it in Connecticut, I think.
Yeah.
So it's close to you guys.
Yeah, I know. I told him we need to get together. Yeah, totally. We're definitely getting together with Ron and stuff. But Ron and my husband, Chris, they've been working a lot together, sharing spreadsheets, information, and just talking about that experience. Hey, this new piece of technology came out for a stabilizer. What are your thoughts on that? And having that relationship to bounce things off of. Again, we're not coming from this ocean boat. We haven't had a lot of ocean time boating experience. That's what I'm trying to say, experience. So having people that we trust and are also having the same experience to share that information has been huge. And again, that's why the Selene community is so fun to be a part of, and such a strong community.
So you're getting your boat in about a year?
Yes. We're going to take receipt of it in January of 2026 is the plan. then it'll take time to iron out some of the kinks, right, and finish some of the work. The commissioning work, a few warranty issues, and then really learning how to operate it. We'll have the captain with us at the time just to help us go through the boat and make sure we understand where everything is and how it all works. And then we'll see where the wind takes us.
Wherever the wind takes you.
Yeah. So,
and it'll be a rendezvous. You going to go to West Coast Rendezvous?
100%. Yeah, I'm going to go. And so Roger,
leave Chris home again, or
no? Chris is coming, 100%. And Roger and Christy too. We're all going to go out to Seattle together in April.
Yeah, it's a blast.
To see more boats, and again, just to build relationships within the community. And then also hopefully next year the East Coast, but we'll still be a year.
You'll still be boatless. Well,
boatless, but
kind of boatless, but almost not quite boatless.
Friends with boats are the kinds of boats you want to have anyway, right? With the boats, we're still boatless, but
OPVs, other people's boats.
Totally, those are the best. So, we're excited to continue on, even though we don't have our boat, but just to be a part of the community, and everyone's so welcoming, and it's great to go on the boats. And I know that. You guys are signing deals left and right, it seems like. So there's going to be tons of boats, new boats to see.
Yeah, we're gonna line them up.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, moral of the story: you get your Selene now, and if you build it now, it takes about 24 months. I feel like is 24. Yeah, for a 60, which we're really excited about that size. For the type of boating that we want to do, and
we do have a 60 in build.
Oh, right.
Yeah, a twin engine that can be delivered probably about 8 months.
And is there a buyer for that now?
No buyers, so that boat's, buy it.
Come and get it and bring it to Seattle so you can come boat with us. Yeah. Yeah,
that's great. So, okay, I heard a rumor that you may think about going around the world.
I mean, we'd love to, right? We're all dreamers, and there was a dream. Oh, let's build a boat and travel the world. Well, we're starting the boat building process, so maybe we'll do the travel the world process too at some point. But that would be really fun. Yeah. And again, to buddy boat, find other Selene owners that want to do crossings with us. And with that said, that's one of the reasons too that we chose this trawler and this style boat with the Selene is that that it holds 2,000 gallons. We can go 3,500 nautical miles. Yeah. Without needing to fuel, and it's a live aboard, and we can have all of the positions and live comfortably. And when you see these boats luxuriously too, while we travel across the oceans, and not worry. I mean, these boats are tanks. How much do they weigh? How many?
Oh, the 60 is probably close to 130,000 pounds.
I mean, 130,000 pounds. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's bigger than an elephant.
Yeah. So it's like a tank, and I don't feel
it
floats, and I'm not worried on it or feel scared that we're gonna. They're tanks, so we're not going anywhere. So the potential of crossing would be pretty awesome. But we definitely want to travel the coast. Hug North America, up and down. We'd like to take it to Canada, to Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland as well. And then hopefully, depending on what Christy and Roger do. No, but that's the plan too, is to travel, and we want to document it and share it with everyone. And it's just such a unique, awesome experience, and it's obtainable. I personally don't have a ton of boating experience on the ocean, and but we're doing it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to learn. We're going to work towards captain's license. We're taking a lot of classes now. We're doing a diesel maintenance class at the end of October in Portland, Maine, just to really learn these systems.
Yeah, and that rendezvous, we had a class on first aid.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything?
Oh, yeah, that we need to take first aid. But right, like all of this that's so important, first aid, CPR, what to do in an emergency, and to make sure that the boats have, an AED defibrillator if you need that, first aid, life rafts, enough provisions if there's an emergency. And then you go into making sure you have the right systems to be able to call the Coast Guard, and making sure you have, what is the big system? What's the big, like a marathon, to be able, so you're off satellite, right?
Yeah, Starlink.
That's the one.
Yeah, Starlink.
So Chris does all that stuff. We need that stuff too. But, so we learned a ton. I mean, and that's been great too at the Rendezvous. We have taken classes. We did a first aid. We did learned about electrical systems. Mark Tilden, who has the Owners Forum. We have a whole new website for Selene owners to navigate. We learned about that.
Vessel Vanguard?
Yep, Vessel Vanguard, which is really cool. Just sort of how to track all of your inventory and systems in the boat. And it reminds you, hey, don't forget to change the oil. Because there's so many systems, you need a brain to help track it when we're doing a million things. So that was really cool. And we learned about there was one other big thing that weather. Yes, the weather, obviously really important too. So we're going to be taking classes since we won't have the boat for another year. We're really trying to go heavy on education and learning about weather, and again learning about maintenance, diesel maintenance, and electrical, and anything really nautical. Trying to learn as much as we can before we take receipt of the boat.
Yeah, and I heard you mention that you know a little about social media, maybe?
A little bit,
yeah. You're going to be doing some posting, and you know what a hashtag is? Hashtag Selene Yachts.
Follow us at. Yeah, still TBD. I mean, we're doing it. We're doing it now.
Yeah, we're doing it now.
But yeah, definitely pass the word along. I mean, Selene Yachts are awesome, and it just goes to show that we're dreamers. Like, we hope to travel the world. We always wanted to build a boat. I mean, so fun. Who doesn't? And now, holy cow, we're building a boat.
And you're doing it with a family.
We're doing it with a huge family on both coasts. And that's awesome because we're not doing it alone. And it is obtainable, and we're doing it. And, we've done our research. And which is great, too, about the build is that we've learned a lot along the way and have choices. And we're not just getting something. We're buying some, but we know what we're buying because we've chosen that.
Yeah.
Those systems and
that's great.
Customizing piece is awesome.
Yeah. Well, Elisabeth, it's been awesome. And we really enjoy meeting you and having you part of our family, and we look forward to more of these rendezvous.
Yeah, definitely.
Hanging out with you guys, and we hung out with Chris out in Roche Harbor, but it'll be fun to hang out with both of you together.
Yeah, I know. I was bummed that he missed it. And like life at home is still happening. The dogs and the kids, and don't forget this, that, and work. So once we wind all that down, we'll definitely be together on this journey. So we're really excited.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, it's
been great.
Yeah, we'll see you the next rendezvous. Or if you want to ever do any lake boating, come to Vermont.
All right, I'll come to Vermont. It's close to New Hampshire. I know where.
There you go. Exactly.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody. See you later.
Selene Yachts.
Selene Americas.
Yes. Thank you.